of Antonio, watching him interact with his teammates, what his general demeanor was, what it was like to see him go through an actual football practice?
Yeah, he was going full speed. Everybody else was walking, but he was going full speed, and that's him anyway. But it was good. Guys were helping him. He's got a really good handle on what we're trying to get done formationally and everything. So, yeah, it was great interaction with all the guys, and it was a good start to the week.
And Bruce, you don't have to defend your stand. You've been a champion of women and their rights and all of that. And yet you face some criticism, right? Because of the nature of things, even if that allegations, the nature of things that Antonio's been accused of. So how do you respond? How do you kind of rationalize those people that say, well, he's just about winning football games?
I think when you judge people, is it allegation versus there's no convictions of anything, but I think for people that want to doubt the decision, I defend my record on all those type of things. So I don't have a problem with it. It's not all just about winning.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Next question will come from Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, along those lines as well, what have your conversations been like with Antonio Brown? I know you said you've had some good conversations with him. What have those been like? And if anything, what has been revealed to you about his current state of mind and the journey that he's been on really in the last several months?
Everything's been very, very positive. I think he's in a good spot right now. And for us, just getting him taught and getting him going. But our conversations were very, very positive.
Where do you think he's at in his life? Do you think that he recognizes that he did make some mistakes previously and is trying to atone for those? Where do you think he is?
I think he's just moving forward and trying to have a positive attitude and taking every bit of care of this opportunity given to him.
Thanks, Coach.
Next question will come from Greg Alman.
Hey, Bruce, I'd want to check with you on Chris Godwin and just how he's doing coming back from that finger. My understanding he was out there. I know you had said it would be very optimistic for him to go this week. How do you feel about things right now?
It's still, we won't know till Friday to see if he can actually catch a ball. But he went through everything today. He was basically a full participant in the walkthrough, but we're not going to take any risks with that thing until Friday to see if he can catch.
Thanks, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll go to Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Bruce, you've obviously seen this before where a guy comes in, and it certainly happened on your defensive line this year with the trade with the Jets. But can you kind of just put into perspective for us how difficult it is for a player in Antonio's position, no matter your talent level, to come in and he'll basically have 3 practices, one being a walkthrough, like how hard that is for those guys to be on the field and available on Sunday, given that situation?
Yeah, it's extremely hard. He does have some recall to what we've done together when I was coaching him. So there's some of that, not a whole lot, but it's just going out and playing football. He knows how to play football and he knows how to run routes. It's just learning the routes that we want and the words and the things. And he's got Chris and Mike and Scotty. Everybody's going to help him.
Next, we'll go to Jonathan Jones.
Hey, Bruce, quick question here. Third down conversions are up pretty much across the league. As great as your defense has been so far, your defense is up, I think, 4 percentage points over last year on allowing third down conversions, which is in line with the league. I'm curious what you're seeing with your guys or opponents or just league-wide on why these numbers are up across the board.
Yeah, I think one thing is fewer penalties. I don't think you're seeing as many really super longs, but I think teams are playing the game in 3rd and 6 or less, which is going to promote to better conversion rates. And it's I don't think there's any rule changes or anything that have really sparked it analytically, but just probably better play offensively.
Next, we'll go to Scott Reynolds, and then we'll open it up to New Orleans media.
Hey, Bruce, you've played 8 games now without the bye week outside of the few days you had off after the Thursday night game, and your bye week is still a month away. How would you gauge the overall health of your team at this point? And does a real positive like your 6-2 record help your team with any type of mental fatigue at the midway point?
Yeah, I think being 6-2 refreshes you pretty quick. You get ready for the next one, and especially when it's this big one like this. So I think those that really helps. You know, I didn't like the bye week being that late. You know, I would have liked to have had it around week 9 or 10, but you know, so far it's good to have some Wednesday walkthroughs and not put the pads on. We're very seldom will we wear pads very often anymore in practice. It's just learning our assignments, getting tuned in, and showing up healthy on Sunday.
And then also at the end of the first half of the Giants game, there was some miscommunication maybe about the clock management, about whether, I think maybe you were saying go for it on the 4th and 1, but time was ticking down. You had to kick the field goal. Can you just walk us through that situation with you and Tom in that series?
Yeah, it looked to me like it was going to be very, very close. Whether we had it or not, once we obviously knew it was 4th down, then to me it was let some time run off the clock. So I was watching it go from 10, 9, 8, call timeout. They put time back on the clock for whatever reason. I have no idea. And but yeah, because we'd like to kick it with no time on the clock, but probably should have waited a few more seconds.
Next, we'll go to Rod Walker.
Hey, Bruce, Rod Walker here in New Orleans. The other day you mentioned Alvin Kamara, and you sort of talked about Marshall Faulk. What is it about Alvin that just really stands out and makes him so hard to contain?
Yeah, I think we always knew he was a great runner, you know, and he's got great speed, breaks a ton of tackles. But when you start looking at backs catching, you know, 8, 9, 10 balls a game, that's a very, very rare guy who can run routes and easily catch footballs out away from the formation. And, you know, Marshall was one of the best I'd ever seen. I thought David Johnson was going to become one of those guys, but, you know, his ability to not just catch it, but be instant with it in his hands with a burst to take it to the house. And, you know, he's probably one of the better screen runners in the game. He's just, the more he touches it, more good things happen.
Thanks, Coach.
Next, we'll go to Amos Morale.
Yes, Coach. Obviously, Devin White is having a really outstanding season production-wise for you. Sacks are up, tackles for loss. Just what do you attribute that to, and how is that helping the defense?
Oh, yeah, he's the catalyst. And, you know, I think the second year in, plus, you know, he's very, very healthy. And he learned a lot last year playing with a brace on his leg, and his explosiveness was gone last year at points, and then he got it back the last 3 or 4 games. But just the second year in the defense, he's running the show, and he's got a lot of pride. He's a great leader.
Thank you, Coach.
Next, we'll go to Luke Johnson.
Hey, Bruce, you were talking about Alvin running those routes. I think there's one in particular that he's been really successful on. This is like kind of choice routes, the angle routes. What route for a running back out of the backfield? Like what do you kind of have to have?
Well, I think you have to have the quickness and the understanding of how to beat leverage. You know, when he runs option routes and those type of things, he's so quick. He doesn't take any false steps, and he sets people up very well.
We have time for a couple more. First, we'll go to Scott Reynolds.
Bruce, Cam Jordan certainly is one of the best edge rushers in the league. What about the other guys in New Orleans in terms of their pass rushers? Trey Hendrickson, Carl Granderson, and Marcus Davenport, who's missed some time but is now getting healthy.
Yeah, outstanding guys. A lot of power. Davenport has the speed off the edge. Those other guys have power and speed. It's a very, very good group of edge guys. Not only against the pass, they're really good against the run too.
Thank you, Bruce.
Next will be Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Bruce, just one more question about AB. Obviously, the fact that he's staying with Tom Brady, how much has that helped him pick up the offense and maybe close that learning curve that he's going to need to do with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it probably helps because if he has questions, he's right there, you can ask him. But I think Tom spent a lot of time with his family too. So, but to have him there, just ability to bounce things off of him is really good.
Last question will come from Luke Easterling.
Bruce, at the halfway point, obviously, with such a strange offseason and no preseason games, the fact that you guys are 6-2, as you take stock of this team and with all the expectations that you guys had in the offseason, how much have you guys lived up to your own expectations? Have there been kind of pleasant surprises or any areas where you feel like you guys still need improvement, even with the success?
I think we need to improve in every area all the time. Our penalties are down. Our turnover ratio is good, but we have to maintain those things. We can run the ball better at times, and defensively the same thing. Special teams has been solid, but yeah, there's room for improvement every week.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all we have time for. Appreciate you taking the time, Coach.
Thanks, guys.